It's really cool. It's like that movie Inception, like a dream within a dream. You know, I always wanted to play in the National Football League, and then you play for the Dallas Cowboys. You know, we're just going deep. We're going deep with it. You're 16, dream within a dream. It's super cool.
Because they're so excited about that. And then Von Miller signing with the Cowboys, so they continue to kind of bolster that defense. What did you think of both of those moves? And do we have any other maybe, veteran free agents who are still on the market that are kind of circling some teams right now?
Well, I think you had a case here where these are two players that can help. Keenan Allen knows Shane Steichen. They've played together. They've been together for years with the Chargers. Keenan Allen could step in there, high football IQ, and just probably step right in and know the offense. And they need some help. Alec Pierce, I still think, my understanding is he's still on track to be back for the regular season opener, but every day that goes by, you're like, what's going on with Alec Pierce, right?
Yeah.
I still think he's back. Josh Downs has had the groin injury. They're a little thin at that position. Keenan Allen knows Shane Steichen. That's a simple one. He's sitting on the street. Von Miller, the Cowboys never have enough pass rushers. This is a guy that's in the Dallas area, that's always wanted to play for the Cowboys. Like, that is a no-brainer. The fact that he wants to go in there and get a deal done with the Dallas Cowboys, and they finally did it. And now, I got to tell you something. We go back to week one again and what we've seen in the preseason. And we talked about it on the previous podcast, Caleb Downs. I think the Dallas defense actually could be pretty good. Pretty good. Which, by the way, if they're pretty good, that gives them a really good chance to win that division. By being pretty, like, all of a sudden, Caleb Downs looks like he could impact that team. I may be getting ahead of myself here. But he looks like he has the chance to impact the Cowboys defense, in my mind, the way that Ronnie Lott once impacted the 49ers defense when they drafted him. And that was a year when the 49ers, let's see how good my memory is here, they were woeful on defense, and in particular, the secondary. And in one draft, they selected Ronnie Lott, and they drafted Eric Wright, I believe, and they drafted, I believe, Carlton Williamson. 3 defensive backs. I think I got the defensive backs right. Maybe Dan could Google them while we're literally riffing off the top of our head and answering the question. And this was about in 1980, if my memory serves me correct. The 49ers added 3 defensive backs, and they went on to win the Super Bowl, I believe, the next year, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see how good my memory is. Check that out right now.
Well, Shefty, good for you. Your memory serves you right. You hit the nail on the head in the 1981 draft. Those are the 3 defensive backs that they selected. And in 1982, the 49ers defeated the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. So bang on. Well done. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That is exactly what happened. Hold on.
That was 45 years ago.
Yeah.
How in the hell would I remember the 49ers draft from 45 years ago?
I don't know. That is crazy.
I was off by 1 year. I said 1980. It was 81.
Yep.
I was off by 1 year. I apologize, Tyler. Let me correct myself for being off the 1 year. But I did get the 3 defensive backs, and I did get the Niners winning the Super Bowl the next year. And I do believe that Caleb Downs can have that type of impact on the Cowboys defense. And we'll see whether Malachi Lawrence is a player, but Von Miller is going to provide some pass rush. Jalen Thompson, I think the Dallas defense really improved and is giving that team a chance. And we'll see if Caleb Downs can become the next player with that type of impact. And 45 years from now, when I'm 105 years old, if I remember that factoid again.
Hey, there's a chance. And listen, the Cowboys defense has to get a lot better because they were historically bad last year. One of the worst defenses ever. So like you said, even a marginal improvement, you could start thinking how, they could win the division. Von Miller, we were talking about this yesterday. The fact that he had 8 sacks last year was just crazy. Obviously the Commanders weren't very good, so I wasn't, locked in on too many Commanders games, but Von Miller at this stage of his career is still, who wouldn't take 8 sacks right now? It's unbelievable. And
Von Miller, he wanted to play for the Cowboys. He pulled it off. 1-year deal worth up to $7.5 million, which means he's going to have to hit some performance markers. The team may have to reach levels of achievement for him to get there. But he wanted to come back to Texas. He grew up in DeSoto, suburb of Dallas, played at Texas A&M. This has been a long time coming. And, hey, I thought he was still solid last year. It was hard to tell with the Commanders. They didn't use him as much as maybe they could have. I thought near the trade deadline they might move him. He had a contract that was heavy with sack incentives. And I think there's still enough gas in the tank to make a difference for the Cowboys.
I think so, too. It's not going to be starting, outside defensive end or linebacker, and he's going to rush the quarterback 40 times a game. No, it won't be that. It's going to be, spell this guy here, spell that guy here, add some depth, all right? Coach some of our young guys, coach some of our defense, tell them about Super Bowl culture. I think that's the benefits of Von Miller. And, yeah, I do think he can still get after the quarterback. Yes. Is it like it used to be? I mean, no. Von Miller, of course, we know in his prime is one of the greatest pass rushers in the history of football. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But where he is right now, can he still go out there and play 25 snaps, 30 snaps, and at the end of the season, can we look up and go, hey, he got 8 or 9 sacks? Yeah, I do think he's still capable of that.
And I absolutely think he is. The key is keeping him healthy. Remember the Bills tried to bring him in and balance that out and not overdo it, and then he had a knee injury, and that was that for his season in Buffalo, his first year there. Right. Yeah, because he could have been a huge difference maker, and he was for the Rams in 2021. Mm-hmm. They added OBJ, they added Von Miller, and that helped propel the Rams to a Super Bowl. 2 moves that the Bills could have made. We've dragged the Bills in the past for that. The Rams went all in when they needed to, and they got Von Miller and OBJ, and that helped deliver the Super Bowl win. Speaking of Super Bowls, Von Miller addressed during his introductory press conference his desire to bring a Super Bowl to Dallas.
I won a Super Bowl in Denver. We had 1 million people out there. We win a Super Bowl with the Rams. It wasn't as much. The parade, we were stopping at red lights and stuff. It's just we still won a Super Bowl, and it's still exciting. It's still dope, but it's just a different feel with those two organizations. If I was with the Buffalo Bills and we ended up winning the Super Bowl, it would be a holiday in Orchard Park. It would be a holiday in Buffalo. Like, everybody remember that. It'd be statues for everybody. That's just the type of organization that they have, the type of fans that they have. Dallas Cowboys fans are in that same type of stream. They're not the same. Bills Mafia, Cowboys Nation is totally different things. That's not what I'm saying. But the fans here are diehard fans, and if we're able to do that, if we're able to have a successful season and win the Super Bowl, it'd be a holiday in Dallas as well.
That's a great line about the parade in L.A. We stopped at red lights. Yeah.
It was amazing.
The Rams fans aren't as prevalent, especially in 2021. It could be that they're slowly but surely getting there. But when you abandon a market for 20 years, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Dallas has been a bedrock location for the NFL since 1960, and the fans there are passionate, and they would love they would have a holiday just for getting to the NFC Championship again.
Yeah, or just getting to the Super Bowl. I would agree. I mean, it's going to be a big deal when they do get to the Super Bowl, if that does happen here anytime soon. I mean, we know the power of them, that fan base frustrated. Gosh, we exhausted this subject yesterday. It's incredible, with what Troy Aikman said. It's unbelievable that we're 30 years removed from them being in a Super Bowl or even an NFC Championship game. So when that happens, yeah, I mean, Dallas is going to be electric. But he's in a special place, and we know that following, and he's, I'm glad to see him kind of end his career at a spot that he wanted to be at.
Back to the Aikman stuff, something I thought of after the show yesterday. You rarely see an employee of a team speak so candidly in critical fashion of another team. And there's probably rules out there that I've forgotten and I've been poking around, but you don't see that happen. And Aikman is a Dolphins employee. And for him to say the fans deserve better than what the Cowboys are giving them and trying to blame it on Jerry, it could get a little spicy, Chris. I wish they played.
I would
this
like
year.
that. I'd like more teams to talk about the other teams and to do that. That would make it really